Okay, welcome everybody to Fear versus Greed. Today our AMA is with Ooze Finance. Um, Let me introduce Raphael. Raphael, do you want to say hi?
Hi, everybody. I'm Raphael. I'm one of the four devs of Ooze Finance. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me, and glad to talk about this project.
Awesome. Now, why are you using a voice changer, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure, I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think it's a really good question. And I don't know if the answer will be satisfactory to everybody, but so basically, all of us in Ooze Finance, all of us devs have families, and some of us are actually public figures. Even if it is sort of in a little pocket of the internet. But I think that if our voices were out there, people may in fact recognize us, and people do actually listen to me and do say, "Hey, are you actually so and so?" And so it is an actual thing. And so we do KYC. Obviously, we are doing KYC with Obsidian Council. We're doing an AMA with them next week too. They're announcing us as their partner, because they're KYCing us. So it's good. It's a great thing. But we're not revealing our identities, and we're basically trying hard to not do that. And why would we do that? So it's not because we want to rug you. Of course, we've been rugged by people who KYC and not KYC, and we hate it. We don't want you to have to suffer the same thing. However, we don't want any death threats personally, and we do know people who are in projects who did not who were doxxed and who did get death threats, and it's just too much for us right now.
Have you ever received a death threat in your life?
Not one that I took seriously.
Uh-huh. Have you ever made any death threats?
Have I ever made any death
I,
threats in my life?
I assume that's a
This is an
no.
interesting
I,
interview.
ass- I assume that's a no. I once told somebody that I would pick them up over my head like Darth Vader at the end of Star Wars and throw them through a brick wall. Um, I once told somebody I would twist his little arms into a pretzel and eat him for lunch, but I don't think those are death threats.
Right. Yes. I think you're right.
All right, I'm just trying to lighten the mood a little bit here. I understand.
No, I got
You
you.
don't you
Sorry,
don't want to get
I gotta adjust to your
yeah.
humor here.
No, I totally get it.
I'm,
You don't want death threats, and this is the internet, and this is a space where people are very sycophantic and can get very emotional when money is involved. I totally get it. Uh, let's just go ahead
it,
and tell
it
us a
should.
little bit about your project. Don't go into the whole tokenomics, but if you could provide like a broad overview, um, like a sales pitch, sort of. Is that something that you would like to share with us?
Absolutely, yes. And yeah, I mean, I'm all for lightening the mood. I'm just trying to. I love to joke myself, and hopefully we can get some good ones going today. But the basic overview is this, and I think people are going to recognize some of the features that we do have in Ooze, and you'll say, "Well, I know that in other projects." So Ooze Finance is a stakeable coin. You stake it. You basically sacrifice your Ooze tokens in a deposit, and this already sounds familiar. You lock your deposit basically, and you earn a base of 1% a day on that deposit. And I say a base. We can talk about that a little bit later. What that means. Because you can't upgrade your daily interest to up to 2% that you earn every day on your deposit. So, and that 1% you could compound it and keep compounding it until you hit a max payout of a base of 8 times plus 365% of your deposit. And so that's the basic principle of our coin. But it's more than that, because there are other projects in DeFi that do that already, and I'm sure some of your listeners, some of your members are probably in those projects as well. We do something different. We are doing something we feel like is very unique in DeFi, and that is we mint you an NFT when you stake your ooze. And it's not just a gimmick. That NFT is tied to your deposit. It's both the keys to unlocking your deposit. So whatever wallet possesses that NFT, and you could have multiples in your wallet too, mind you, whatever wallet possesses that NFT could unlock your deposit. And so at the same time, it's the keys, but it's also digital real estate because, as you know, NFTs themselves hold value, could be bought and sold and traded on the market on the internet. And so that NFT has its own value and it's also upgradable. And we could talk about how you could upgrade your NFT because there are different ways in our system to upgrade your deposit. Basically, earn more interest or have the higher max payout, or get bigger tax breaks, or put in liquidity. So there are different ways to upgrade that NFT to make it worth more. So we are basically here because we believe, and we love DeFi. We believe that, I'm preaching to the choir. I'm sure everyone here loves DeFi, but we believe that DeFi is ready for its next stage in evolution. We see that the market is down. There's a lot of fear going on right now. I see even on your site, on your channel, we have a little bit of an indicator here. It's over on the fear side right now, and I don't know if you update that. It'd be pretty cool if you did. You could tell me a little bit about that because I'd love to hear, more about that too. But we feel the same way. There's a lot of fear going on here. There's this FUD, the uncertainty and doubt is coming on. People are saying it's the dark days of DeFi, and so basically, we're here to say, like, we don't want DeFi to be dark. We love DeFi. We're here to make DeFi fun again, and we're trying to add an extra layer to staking. And that's what this is. I think gone are the days when you stake your coin and you wait for it to go, you hope the price goes up and that you get your ROI, you get your deposit, you get at least, your minimum back. And that's the only thing that you're doing in DeFi. I think, we think that's kind of boring, and we're constantly just pulling our money to the next place that we think is safe, that gives us a very high APY interest rate, and that's how we all got stuck, or at least I got stuck, in DAOs, and lost money in DAOs because the APY on that was astronomical, and just pull everything from Pancake Swap that I had in there, because that's only 60 to 80% APY a year. So we're constantly doing this in DeFi, but Ooze Finance offers the ability to change that kind of that destiny, because now you have the other extra layer to staking, which you don't have to just stake your money and you don't have to just compound the interest and just wait forever. You have an NFT that you could sell to get capital immediately and upgrade it or flip it or however you want to do it. There's an extra layer here. So you could do Ooze Finance basically however you want, and we like to give power to people.
Okay, nice pitch. When is the launch slated for? Do you have a launch day
Thank
yet?
you. I've been working on that pitch for a while. I hope it would sound good. Did I rush it? I'm just,
No,
I'm
it
just,
sounded
I'm just
sounded
teasing you.
yeah, no, sounded good.
Yeah, I just, do you remember my favorite movie is Ocean's 11? You ever see Ocean's 11, the new one with George Clooney?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, there's an elevator scene where you know, George Clooney is speaking with Brad Pitt, and he's basically, it's kind of like, it's my pitch to how I feel about it. Sometimes because George Clooney talks about how in the casinos the house always wins, but sometimes a good hand comes along and you take the house. And he gives this whole speech, and it was really uplifting at the
Let
end. He
me
says,
let me
"Oh, did
say
I rush it?"
let me say a word to the audience here before we get any deeper into the AMA. Thank you all for being here. If you have any questions, ask them in the chat, and we'll get to them soon. I won't make you wait till the end. And if you want to raise your hand, we'll bring you right up on the stage. We used to do the questions at the end, but when I'm in an AMA, I want my questions answered now.
Right.
Is that okay, Raphael? Is that we'll just take questions like basically as soon as we get them so people don't have to wait?
Yes, however you want to do it, that's fine.
How
It's your
many
AMA. I'll leave it to you.
how many whitelists did
You asked
we
about pre-sale, right?
how many whitelists did we agree on?
I think we said 15. We'll have to go back
Oh
in the chat, but I
wow.
really believe that's it.
Okay, so we've got 15 whitelists to give out, guys. So if you're interested in whitelisting, all you have to do is ask us a question that hasn't already been asked. And I don't know, a question like what chain is it on might not qualify if we've got more than 15, but Raphael, guess what my favorite movie is? Just first one that comes to your mind.
Jurassic Park.
That's right. How'd you Are you psychic?
Definitely.
Okay, it says
That's how I got here because I guessed Bitcoin's price, and now I'm a multi-trillionaire.
Kurt says, "Are you doing the AMA in the House of Obsidian or the Council?"
We are doing in their Discord. I believe it's the House of Obsidian Discord, and that is going to be on Thursday of next week at 3 p.m. p.m. Eastern.
He says, "Are you worried about launching given the current?" Oh, right. Well, before you answer that question, I had asked you what is the yeah pre-sale is would be the next date. Like, what is the next important date that you want potential users of your project to know?
Right. And so that date is the 27th, which is next Friday. So we are going to be doing the pre-sale then. And so if you've secured a pre-sale whitelist spot, because there's going to be the private pre-sale and the public pre-sale. If you get one of those whitelist spots, you are holding a reserved spot for the pre-sale. You'll have 48 hours to invest, and it's a guaranteed spot. You will not have to basically sit by your computer and wait. And as soon as it opens, it's not a chance to invest. It's a guarantee that you're able to invest for 48 hours. 1,000 USDC max, 100 USDC minimum per whitelist spot per wallet, and so that's how it would work for that. And the public pre-sale is going to be on the 29th, and that will be first come first serve. That's not much we can do about that.
Okay. And do you have a launch date set?
So the launch date is going to be the about a week after that.
Okay.
So it's not going to be too long, but it gives us a little bit of time to make sure that we're doing everything right with everyone's money.
Oh yeah, and you want to give people time to get another paycheck. Um, so so
Yes.
the pre-sale is on the 27th, the public sale is on the 29th, and then the public launch will be about a week later.
Correct.
Correct. Okay, so Kurt says, "Are you worried about launching given the current state of the market?"
So this is a good question, Kurt, and a lot of people ask us this question. And so I just wonder if there's ever really necessarily a good time in DeFi. And this is kind of like a rhetorical question. When's the best time? And some would say when the market's really good. Some would say that the market's really bad. And I think we all have this very interesting thought that we should all buy when it's going up because we have FOMO, and all sell when it's going down because we have fear and we want to panic sell. And I think this is kind of a human thing, and which is totally okay. We're not completely worried about it because we're pairing with USDC, which does not really affect the current state of the market. I think the worst that could happen, and we are on the Phantom chain, by the way. I saw that question was in there. We are the most that would happen is the Phantom gas would get cheaper for us. So I don't. We're not really particularly worried about it.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you got to sort of move forward, even if the market's not agreeable. It says,
We
where
could
do
be
you,
waiting until next year until the market comes back. And waiting for Bitcoin to come back for the longest time.
so, yeah, that's right. Where do you see your project in 6 months, both in terms of your roadmap and where you want to be?
So in 6 months, where we want to be with our project is we are going to have our own, because we talked about NFTs. We're going to have our own NFT marketplace, and in 6 months, we want to be doing loans against our NFTs, also peer-to-peer loans. And everyone is sort of saying they're going to do peer-to-peer loans. This is the new hot topic, and everyone wants to do it. But everyone is just kind of waiting to see what the other person does. And maybe it's like a space race, but we want to do it right and correctly. And so where we want to be, sort of in a kind of emotional, kind of feeling kind of way, we would like to see our investors really taking advantage and using the system in such a way that you have a lot of really cool uses, both strategies happening, really good communities, people growing their wealth, making some good money, and just how people would use, buy, and sell these NFTs. Because we're excited to see how people would actually use this platform and really make, just even make it fun, but also grow their money because we really do believe it's very powerful.
Did that answer your question, Kurt? It's how are you going to make this sustainable?
Right. So here is one of those questions where I get to talk a lot. Tell me if I'm going too much on this. So the sustainable question is multifaceted, obviously, because there are different levels of sustainability. You need a use for your token, because any token that doesn't have a use outside of just being your token kind of dies, as we've seen with Titano and other tokens. Not to knock Titano, I'm invested in Titano. Then you need ongoing marketing, and you need focus from the devs, and you need a tokenomics that supports this. And so we're doing all three of these things. First, we have a lifestyle of marketing. If a question comes up, when marketing or what is your marketing strategy, we were doing our own YouTube channel. We're doing all the usuals, which is getting the YouTube influencers and getting the social media up. But our whole thing is about marketing. How are we going to market? How are we going to push it? And building community that really invites people in, and nothing is worse. You could always tell when a project is going to go belly up when you go into their chat and everything is terrible and it's sad and there's a lot of FUD. And so this is not how we're going to run Ooze Finance. Ooze Finance is a good community and we want to market in that way too. The second is that yes, we are going to have a token use. We have those NFTs. Those NFTs are part of the sustainability plan. Those NFTs have a 5% royalty on them every time that they are purchased. So, and that 5% royalty goes right back into the contract. And someone said to me, don't you want to stop whales from selling? And shouldn't we, penalize whales for selling these NFTs? And I said, you want the whales to sell the NFTs because that 5% of the sale, that's fresh capital. Because remember, someone is putting up that capital. It's not as though we have regular token tax for sustainability, 10% across the board. It's not like that when you sell the token. Yes, some goes out to tax, but the sell pressure on the token causes the price to drop. It's not like that with the NFT. When you sell an NFT, there's always a buyer. That 5% of that sale gets put right back into the contract, and the price goes up. So if the market tanking, and if Ooze is doing really well, hopefully you have tons of people panic selling their NFTs, and people will buy them really cheap, and all of that NFT sale goes 5% of that goes right back to the contract to bring the price right back up. So that is our use case. Plus the peer-to-peer loans are coming, which is going to introduce a pretty awesome use case to that. Now the third is the tokenomics itself supports sustainability. So remember it's multifaceted. There are multi layers to doing sustainability, and the tokenomics is the last one, which needs to be put in place, and that is yes, we have 10% tax across the board. That includes compounding also, but we do more rewards as a sort of a trade-off for that. But also we have the whale tax, as a lot of tokens are doing nowadays. On top of that, 10% tax. But we also encourage people to put liquidity into the system. We encourage it in two ways. First, if you choose to team build, which you don't have to, because we have a team building path and we have a solo path. Either way is very good to build your wealth. But if you choose to team build, the way that you get team building rewards is by adding liquidity to your NFT, basically tied to your NFT. You never want to take that out because the more ooze you put in, the more liquidity you'll need to get those rewards from the people that you refer, and it's continual rewards. So you want to keep that. And the second way is that we have a system called XP, which boosts your NFT and your deposit, to earn more interest per day or to basically increase your max payout from 8 times to 12 times. So that you put in liquidity and you earn that XP every day by having that liquidity in there. You never want to take it out because you want to keep earning XP. And if when you grow your deposit more, you have to put in even more liquidity to earn more XP. So there's a constant want of people put in liquidity to keep that price floor stable. So those are the three pillars basically of sustainability that we feel every project needs that we're addressing.
Some more tokenomics questions. Why have a tax on adding liquidity?
So the tax on adding liquidity, which is I love that question because it's an interesting one, right? Why would you tax people on adding liquidity? Because first, 5% of that is going to be locked. It goes to lock liquidity. The contract takes care of that, and we just want to have a bunch of lock liquidity that we have to keep the price floor stable that no one can take out. The second part of that is the 5% goes towards emissions. So when you add liquidity, you'll be earning money on that liquidity in there, which you could actually recompound and grow your liquidity if you want. So we're doing it to pay people, to reward people for doing the liquidity also. And I love that it's like a dual reward because when you stake your liquidity to get XP, you're earning emissions, and you're growing your liquidity, and you're also earning XP. So it's very rewarding to stake for XP also. So that's the reason why we're taxing in and out.
Yeah, a lot of people love taxes, but even more people hate them. But it's a necessary evil. I mean, with DreamFi, we're going to do a tax, and we might actually have to do a big tax at least for the very first part of the launch, because the pump and dumping is really bad. I've seen it destroy so many projects. I will not let it destroy DreamFi. But
Oh yes.
the
I hope you
mechanism,
succeed. I didn't know you had a token.
yeah, we're launching in July, July 4th, DreamFi.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm like super interested in all of the issues and solutions that projects are coming up with every day. I
We
mean,
should have you over for an AMA.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the greatest things about DeFi is that it moves so fast. It's sort of like um, uh, evolving with all of the successes and failures. The whole space sort of evolves. You know what I mean? Um, did you ever
It's true.
watch Roadrunner cartoon? I think it was on Merry
Yes.
Melodies.
The you mean the old ones that I used to watch as a kid?
Yeah, with the Wile E. Coyote.
Yes, of course.
You know how he would have like this excellent plan, and then the plan wouldn't work, and then he would just go to a totally different plan?
Yes, or how he would somehow he would keep running off a cliff and he wouldn't fall until he noticed that there was actually nothing under him.
Right. Well, I always wonder, why didn't he just tweak the plan and address the one
Right.
failure point? Anyway, so that's sort of what's going on in DeFi. People keep tweaking, tweaking, tweaking. Kurt says, you just mentioned referring people. Is there a referral program?
Yes. So, do you mind if I give a long answer to a short question?
Is it like a baked beans inspired referral?
No. So
Okay,
it
go
is.
ahead. Go ahead. Give your complete answer. I mean, he wants to know, and that's what we're here for.
So yes, there is a referral program, and so the way it works is basically you don't have to do this. We have two basic way NFTs that you could mint, and one is what we call the biopunks, which is we basically take care of all the compounding for you and all your strategies and stuff like that. That doesn't do any team building, but if you join what we call the Order of Slime, this is where you do your team building. So what happens is you're going to refer somebody on. We call them disciples, and you'll be the guru. When you refer somebody on, and they join with your team, you're going to get 10% of their deposit. So basically, the tax that gets taken out. And that keeps happening because they, keep in mind that they would need to deposit more if they want to increase the max payout of their wallet. So even if they withdraw, they could deposit more. So you're getting that rewards throughout the person's wallet growing, which is great. But on every compound, we have 10% tax also, but 5% of that goes immediately up to the guru, and the other 5% goes up the chain 15 levels in a round robin. So you will be earning rewards on a round robin, 15 levels up from the person that you refer. And you will also be earning rewards every time there's a compounder deposit from the people that you refer directly. So yes, you've probably seen this type of team building in other projects.
How long after you applied for your Obsidian Council AMA? Oh, you guys applied for KYC, so that's a little different. I see.
Yes, yes, yes. So
Never
we
mind. So with this order of goo, what did you call it?
Order of Slime, but I like Order of Goo better. But
Did
we
you
can't
ever
change it now. It's
did you ever consider
better.
order of muck?
You know what? We didn't. If you had been there, things might have been different.
Muck, you got to have mire. Mire always goes with muck. Muck rakers, that's true.
Yes.
Um, what was that TV show in the 90s with the slime?
TV show in the '90s with the slime. You mean the Turtles one?
That's a good point. It's not what I was thinking of,
Um,
but that's an excellent, excellent point. Oh, when did you guys,
yeah, TV '90s
did
with
you
slime.
guys have like the TV show with this, it was like kids and they were like, it was a
Oh,
game
the
show.
Nickelodeon shows.
Yes, exactly. I think it might have even been called, I think it was called Order of the Slime. No, I don't know what it was called.
Was it really? Oh wow! So we're gonna get sued. This is great. I'm just teasing. We didn't steal it from that. It was definitely not that.
I lost my train of
But
thought.
yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
but
you could be
the
right.
order of the slime. So this is like A way to bring people in. This is the great impetus behind this, right? You guys want a way to spread word of mouth. Isn't that the idea? Would you say that that was the
Yes, well,
impetus?
it's twofold. So the answer to your question is yes, it helps the system. Also, at the same time, we want to see Ooze being community oriented because we ourselves are in other projects like this, like this type of reward system, and we are part of these communities, and we see how it's actually it's an addictive and wonderful thing, and a lot of good things come from these communities, and we want Ooze to be a very positive thing in DeFi, and so this is part of the reason that we did this.
Question for Raphael. Ooze, do the kickbacks from downlines count as fresh deposits and therefore require to add more slime?
No, they do not. The kickbacks from downlines, they count basically along the same way as compounds. They do not count as fresh capital that you deposit. So you won't require more, and it won't also increase your deposit. It won't require more slime, that is, and it won't increase your deposit. Only depositing, even if you withdraw from the system and deposit again, are you double taxed, but only that increases your actual deposit. We keep track of your compounded amount separately. That's the number that you see, but once you actually reach base of 8 times or 12 times you deposit, that compounded number will not grow anymore, even with rewards.
ASB asks, the total supply is 1 million, but can be minted more if required. What conditions or situations, or in what conditions or situations would you mint more tokens?
So what would have to happen is, so all of the taxes and royalties from the NFT send tokens to our sewer contract. That holds all of the tokens that are meant for the payouts from the dividends from the Ooze system that are paid out 1%. All those numbers are basically they're virtual numbers until somebody actually withdraws tokens from the system. And at that time, when you withdraw tokens from the system, you are given tokens from the sewer contract that were from taxes. And if there are no tokens in the sewer contract, then we would have to mint so that you're guaranteed to get tokens out. Because if you go to withdraw tokens and there are no tokens, that would kind of be depressing. And so we would mint some to give you them, and that would happen only if there's absolutely nothing left in the sewer contract, which is very unlikely. And also, if all the tokens are held by somebody and are all purchased, in which case the price would be so astronomically high that it would be very hard to get to that point.
We've got a hardball question. With the referral program, it gives off a pyramid scheme vibe. Are you worried about that turning away cautious investors?
So here's the thing in crypto that we all kind of live with, that we all join things that have very Ponzi elements to it. And do I think that a lot of these things, like referral contracts, are Ponzi's? I do not. In fact, so we make a very big point in Ooze to not want people to feel like it is a Ponzi or have it actually be a Ponzi. And this is why we don't require people to join Order of Slime. We'd be very pleased if you joined Biopunks, which case we take care of all of your daily compounding, or we automate everything for you. Just select the strategy, and the only trade-off is you don't team build. Plenty of people would choose that path if they don't want to have to refer someone or be referred by someone. That is completely fine. And in the same way, our main goal is really to bring in a layer to DeFi with these NFTs, and that's what we want to see. And so I think that it's kind of hard to convince people who believe that this stuff is a Ponzi, that it's not a Ponzi. We can't please everybody, so we're doing the best we can to make people understand it's not actually a Ponzi. We won't be successful in every aspect, but so to answer your question, we're not a Ponzi in the way that we do all these other things. We don't require people to team build, and we're all about these NFTs. But yes, so some things we may do. Obviously, here's a real answer. Some things we may do are going to turn away investors. Someone could be listening to me right now. Just not like the way I'm conducting myself on this AMA and be turned away. And I'm very sorry that that would happen. But at the same case, this is kind of what happens in DeFi, and we're going to do the best we can to make sure that people keep coming on the system and the word is out there and people really understand what we're doing. But we're in certain ways it's just not going to communicate well.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, you can't please everybody. Are NFT sales in stables or in the native Ooze token?
So that's going to depend the um, on the marketplace that you list them on. More than likely, if you list it on a different marketplace, it's probably going to be in FTM. On our marketplace, though, we are more than likely going to do sales in USDC and not in Ooze because we want to make sure that the NFTs that you list on our platform actually do have something that'll come back to the contract and is basically more or less, I mean, and we can't guarantee anything in DeFi, but more or less would be guaranteed over something that goes up and down in price.
What marketplace will we be allowed to list on?
So on Phantom Network, you have the coin. You have the marketplace PaintSwap is the most popular. You will be able to list on PaintSwap, and we don't want to take any business away from PaintSwap, and that's not why we're doing our own marketplace. However, we want to give buyers all the necessary information they need to make an informed decision on what NFT to buy and how much it should be priced for. And so that's why I think people are going to prefer to buy and sell Ooze NFTs on our marketplace because we will have that on PaintSwap. Unfortunately, you'll have to take the token ID and go over and look on our site the stats for that NFT and make a decision then. And I spoke to someone about that. They said that it's two steps, but it's really not that bad. But being in IT, and I've been in IT for quite a number of years, two-step processes for anyone is kind of a pain in the butt. So we're trying to streamline that. So to answer your question, what marketplace will be allowed to be listed on? It'll be on PaintSwap, but then we're going to do our own, and we're probably going to transition just to our own.
Good. I hope that answered your question, Dara. Um, it says this is business based. Is it advice that we sell our NFT 10 times the profitability? I'm not sure did you understand that question, Raphael?
I'm assuming, and this is bad to assume. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming the question is that is it advisable to get more for the NFT than what what I put in for it or what it was worth at the time? And I mean, I would answer that question yes. I would answer the question yes. It is advisable to get as much money as you can for this NFT. But here's some unsolicited business advice and how we see this going, which we don't know how this is gonna go. The potential is out of this world for this NFT stuff because you could deposit 100 ooze and then a week later, based on, I mean, even a day later, based on market sentiment and other factors, you could sell that for 1,000 ooze, and everything increases the value of your NFT. If you team build, the number of team members on your NFT, which, by the way, when you sell your NFT, your whole team goes with your NFT. I mean, no hard feelings, but that does happen, and so that increases the value of your NFT. So you could buy an NFT at a discount if you can, and or you could encourage people to join your team. Have your friends and family. You could invest in NFTs. Mint NFTs on your own team. Give them all to your family with only one ooze, and say, hey, if you like it, deposit more. Not a big deal. Or you could get people on your team just by giving people NFTs at a discount and say, if you like it, that's fine. So there are so many things you could do with this, and I foresee some things like let's say the market's going down and someone believes that ooze is going to go to zero, and so they'll panic sell their NFT. And a buyer on the other end, it feels like ooze is not going to go to zero. I'm going to get this deposit at a huge discount and just wait for ooze to come up. So there are people who are going to sell NFTs for more, and there are people who are going to sell NFTs for less, and both will be there. And I think that everyone wins in this situation. And it's going to be up to the person.
Always looks like we've got another. How many purchases can be made from a wallet?
Exactly one infinity.
I see. So as many as you want. It says Biopunk and Order of Slime. Are we allowed one each or unlimited?
Unlimited. You are allowed to even be on your own team. Have as many as you want. Your own wallet of each. It's really up to you how you use the system. And this is what I like about it. This is what we like about it. We are about fun and choice in DeFi, and you will have lots of fun and choice in the system.
For anybody who has asked questions, if I have missed your question, it is totally by accident. And if you repost it, I will read it just to let everybody know. I may have missed a couple questions. I have in the past. If you re-ask your question, I will ask it. Um, it's Ask Me Anything.
That's true.
And
I
also,
guess what my favorite movie is.
I know what your favorite movie is.
What? Tell me.
Ocean's 11.
That was an easy one. I should have picked a harder one. Dang.
Well, I read it in your profile. The profiles that we get on all of our guests before the show.
Oh yeah,
Um,
did Obsidian give you my KYC info? They said they wouldn't do that.
they just keep it in a Google folder. I think it's still public. Would you like me to guess your eye color, height, home address, phone number, social security number, the name of your pet that died when you were 7 and you cried and buried it in the backyard and planted flowers? You can do all
That
that.
pet I killed by accident. They can't. That won't make me cry.
What, your pet turtle? Oh, I said too much. That doxed you.
Oh no.
OX Donnie is so tell me more about your role on the team. Are you a code monkey?
Yes. So I'm a little bit. We're all a little bit of everything, and I mean I know Donnie is actually part of the team. If you wanted to include him, or if you had a question, but
I have invited him to the stage. I don't know if realizes. Donnie, if you'd like to come to the stage, you have an open invitation, and I believe you just have to find the right button to click. Um, oh, here he is. Excellent.
so
Uh,
to finish answering your question before
yes.
I give Donnie a what's up. But yeah, so I am not just a code monkey. I am also, I love doing these AMAs. I love doing marketing with this. I love speaking with people. This is really what's where my heart is. Having conversations with you, kind of just hanging out, telling jokes. This is what I like to be doing, spreading awareness about Ooze. However, I also do front end work, and that is my specialty.
Mean like website design?
Yeah, I'm not much of so Mikey's more the designer guy. I'm the guy who comes and wires it up. So whatever you see working on the site and the D app or DApp, that is going to be my handiwork. And whatever it looks like, that's Mikey's deal.
Okay. Do you want to introduce Donnie to us?
So this is Donnie. He's actually a great guy. He's much smarter than I am and a math genius. And far from a code monkey, whenever you hear him speak, he gives details and great details. And he did all the formulas on the white paper. So definitely a great guy to have on your team, and he's a solid friend too.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the technical designer for Ooze. Kind of worked on the protocol and how it works and how everything connects and all the different pieces and parts of it. And I'm also doing some coding on the contracts as well. The Leo's the main contract coder there.
Have you guys done modeling to see how long the token price will, or to sort of, I think you know what I'm asking you, right? Like for instance, with theme,
Sustainability modeling. Yeah.
yeah, or just like in different, I mean, it's very, very, very hard to predict. It's actually impossible to predict what the market will have to say about your project on launch day, which makes it very hard to model. I've actually talked to a guy who is working on I guess you would call it a program that will allow people to punch in their tokenomics and then it will model various scenarios, such as like very high buy pressure, almost no buying pressure, etc., like that. Is that something that you guys have done?
Actually, it's funny that you asked that. Yeah, there's a contact that we have that's done sustainability modeling, like statistical analysis for drip. And so we asked her, "Hey, do you think you could do some of that for Ooze as well?" And we have some, interesting mechanics like the XP features that we'd really like to get modeled as well and see kind of what those could do because users NFTs can get upgraded and have more ROI or higher caps. And also, we're just different because we have a max cap on your balance growth, and Drip does not. And so, we definitely wanted that modeled, and so she's working on that for us. We're hoping we'll have something we can show, like actually some analysis we can show before launch about that. But yeah, that is actually something we're doing. The price aspect of that is a bit trickier, modeling kind of what the price will do over time. Trickier than just kind of what the tokens are doing, and will the contract have enough tokens to pay everybody out, and all of that kind of side of it. But yeah, price analysis is something we're looking to do as part of that as well.
What have your can you share any of your results with us?
Not yet. No, no, that stuff's still being worked on. The model is still being worked on, so we don't have any results for that yet. But we will we will hopefully have some of that before launch. I guess I will say that because some of the elements that we have, some of our core elements, are inspired by other protocols such as Drip. We can rest rest assured on some of those results that have been done in the past. But in addition, we have extra sustainability measures that Drip doesn't have. For example, like I mentioned, the max cap on the balance growth, and we also have different ways that the contract gets more tokens that Drip doesn't have. For example, when you sell an NFT, the royalty that's paid on that, or when you transfer an NFT, the transfer tax that's paid on that goes right back into the contract balance. And in addition, the round robin bonuses, if that hits a wallet that isn't eligible to receive those bonuses on tax, in Drip that just skips to the next wallet up. But for us, it goes to the contract balance. So every turn, if is in that round robin, is a real turn, and if nobody's eligible to receive that turn, it just goes to the contract balance. So we're confident with those added sustainability options there. And then I guess the last major one is, I don't know. Sorry, I was late. I don't know if Raph mentioned this, but the way that you qualify for downline rewards in the first place in Ooze is by staking liquidity, is by staking Ooze USDC liquidity, which we call slime. Um, and because the users will be incentivized to stake liquidity, uh, just in order to receive those rewards, that is going to have a massive impact on the price floor of the token, and the sustainability of that as well. So,
Oh
like
my
we're
God.
reasonably confident things are going to show that sustainability, but
This is gonna be
um,
so hard to model. Oh my God. I'm just trying to think about it in my head like, yeah, this is what they call the big boy. How many contracts do you guys have for Ooze?
let's see. I mean, I guess it depends on kind of how you want to. I mean, from a pure sense, we have the token itself, right, which is a contract. We have the NFT token, which is a another contract. We have the tax vault, which itself holds the ooze tokens that the other contract pays out. So that's another one. Then we have the two main ones, the sewer and the swamp. So the sewer is what is keeping track of all of the users' allocations and all the NFTs allocations, I should say, and what is owed to everybody, and all of that. And then the swamp is what manages the user's allocations of liquidity, and stake those and saying like, hey, this NFT has purchased this amount of liquidity. And then because we have our own decks, that's its own contract as well. Um, so what have I listed? Like six, and then there's probably a couple minor ones as well, like a token splitter and various things like that. But that's the main. Those are the main ones.
I want to get to Kurt's question before I forget again. He said, for the marketplace, will you only host your own NFTs or will you be able to host other projects NFTs as well?
So right now we don't have any plans of having anybody else's NFTs. I mean, I suppose we're open to it, but the idea is that if the complexity of it takes away from our main project, which is Ooze, and hurts the all the investors in the project, you will not find us doing it. And I just want to be clear on this very point that we are very Ooze focused and Ooze centric. So we aren't going to any other project or doing anything else outside of this, aside from just making the product better here. So every decision that we make is for the investors and the sustainability of the project. So to answer your question is yes, if it helps Ooze and it only helps Ooze, then yes.
Great answer. In my opinion, that was a perfect answer. Tell us how long you guys have been working on this project.
So far, we've been working on it for a few months, which is definitely longer now. But yes, so it's been
Like 2.5 to 3 months, I think, somewhere in that range.
yes, and it's been interesting coming from a baby to an idea, basically to something that people are going to be able to invest in, which I'm sure you're seeing yourself too.
Oh yeah, I've been watching you guys for some time, and very nice project. And thank you guys again, by the way, for being here for this AMA and taking the time to come out here and answer questions. And boy, the first 45 minutes went really fast. I want to remind the audience that this is an Ask Me Anything, and you can also raise your hand and join the stage or ask questions in the chat box. We've got whitelists to give out, and thank you for the audience for being here too. Um, what's the biggest challenge that the Ooze team has faced so far?
There are so many different challenges. Donnie, what would you say is actually our biggest?
Uh, I would almost say just like scope, right? Uh, well, I mean, it's hard to say what the biggest one is. I'd say one big one is scope, right? Like figuring out like this is this is what the project is that we want to release. These bits are the important things that we want to do for version one. We have so many ideas and ways that this could grow, but obviously we have to limit the scope for launch and then work on some of those other things. So that's one of the biggest things. Like I know lending gets thrown around a lot because it's one of the biggest ideas that we have that basically having an NFT unlocks, right? The ability to use your NFT, which is an interest-bearing asset, as collateral for a loan, right? Um, is just a huge idea and such a good idea. But again, like we've got to build the foundation first. So I'd say that's probably one of the biggest challenges is just scope and time. Yeah, I don't know what would you say, Raf?
I would say something like that, wanting to, but I'd say the harder thing is, like Caraway was saying, is that, you know, it's hard to model out stuff. And I think that trying to predict everything, like we recently slightly modified the way XP is done. And so since there's a lot of moving parts, they're trying to figure out all the scenarios is definitely a very difficult thing. And I always say it's a lot like StarCraft playing the game. How it took them 10 years to really adjust how it really works between the three races. The balancing act. And there's some things we'll get more right after we launch, which is why we're doing a proxy contract for some of the contracts that are really important to be able to be changed, not the token ones, but we're going to see some tweaking later on that helps balance things with XP and strategy.
Awesome. I heard StarCraft. Are you a big gamer or were you a big gamer?
I was a big gamer before kids, and now that is currently impossible.
I know. I've had Elden Ring for since the day it came out, and I'm like, I have a very small amount of time in it. What about you, Donnie? Are you a big gamer?
Uh, Again, it's a time factor, but yeah, I would say generally speaking, I'm a pretty big gamer. But these days, all my time is spent working on this project. So
What what
maybe
what game
yeah,
would you say that you achieved the highest level of s skill in or at?
That's a so we're talking a skill based game here, huh? Um, yeah, I don't know if I play many. Like, I'm not much anymore of a multiplayer like um, beat up other people game. I really like story driven games. I really enjoyed playing Last of Us, the new one. Obviously, that there's an element of skill necessary for getting through the game, but I enjoyed the story aspect for that the most. Just
You know, I
Red
played.
Dead Redemption 2 was another one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one. I played The Last of Us. Never touched the single player. The multiplayer was so good in Last of Us. It was really, really, really top notch. And then when they announced in Last of Us 2 that they weren't going to have multiplayer, I just said, man, you're dead to me. You know what I mean? Last of Us is dead to me now. No, I heard the single player was incredible.
yeah, yeah. That's what I enjoyed.
What about you, Raphael? Same question. Is the answer StarCraft?
Ah, I was so terrible at StarCraft. I mean, if being terrible was a skill, then yes, I'm very skilled at it. So I think that kind of like Donnie, I'm probably most skilled at any of those older RPGs, like Final Fantasy VII or back
It's
to
not that
Chrono
old.
Trigger or something like that. Um,
Now, which did you
those are
like
my
better, Final Fantasy 8 or Final Fantasy 9?
All right, so Final Fantasy VIII I liked, but I loved 9, and also the music in 9 was superior to a lot of different, basically what Uematsu did for 9 kind of topped what I feel like a lot of other games that he did.
Yeah, nine was really good. I wouldn't say it's underrated because it's quite highly rated, but it's certainly overshadowed. A lot more people played 10, and then the one people talk about all the time is 7.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like 9 should be more touted. I do believe, I do think it was excellent gameplay, and perhaps if it had come out right after 7, it might have been a little bit more, because I think 8 came out and disappointed everybody. And I mean, you know what? This is listen. I don't mean to offend anyone. Don't not invest in Ooze because I said something mean about your favorite game, Final Fantasy VIII, but it just wasn't that good, guys. And so I just want to say that
I enjoyed
if
8. I beat 8. I mean, this was what 15, 20 years ago, but
I'm just not into abuse, it's just not one of my things. So I beat it, but that was it. I put it on the shelf.
uh-huh, but just okay. Let's see
So
what
I'm
is
sorry, I've got to pop off, Raph, because I've got the other AMA to prep for. But
Thanks for coming, Donnie.
yeah, no worries. See you later. Thanks, Caraway.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming, Donnie. Yeah, it is about the time. I think we've got about 8 more minutes, and then after that, we'll stay as long as we need to wrap up all the questions. Do you want to go ahead and say a few words, Raphael, about Ooze and about just remind us of the dates and that sort of thing?
Yes. So be in position for the pre-sales that are coming up, which is going to be on the 27th. And when I say be in position, I just mean that relax. You're gonna if you have a whitelist spot, if you secured a whitelist spot, good for you. That's pretty excellent. You're gonna have a 48-hour window to invest. Just look out for that announcement in our channels on our Twitter. We're not going to sneak around or hide the ball. It's not going to be a stealth launch, which actually people have asked us for. I was very confused, but it's not going to be a stealth launch. You're not going to wake up one day and Ooze is launched. That's not what's going to happen. You're going to have plenty of basically time and understanding of what's going on with the dates. So just look out for those announcements and relax and enjoy investing in Ooze. We don't want to make you upset, frustrated. But as far as the public pre-sale goes, that will come first come first serve, and we'll try to make it as fun and as good as possible. We try to be fair with everything. If you did not get into either of those, look forward to our launch. We do believe that, like I think it was Kurt who asked the question. Basically, will people think it's a Ponzi? But I mean, oh no, about the marketplace. Is this a bad time to get into a coin? I just think that what I don't know if we actually ever know when there's a good time to get into a coin until we're in the future. And so I would recommend that even if you do go after launch, get into it. But also, if you do actually, if you're able to snag any pre-sale, you're going to be able to pre-mint your NFT before the launch date. And why would you want to pre-mint an NFT? So yes, it's going to lock your deposit of the pre-minted tokens that the tokens that you do get or that are allocated to you at the pre-sale. But at the same time, you're going to get a rare NFT. You're going to get a special badge for only those who have invested in the pre-sale and pre-minted an NFT. That's going to be the week between the pre-sale. Once the pre-sale is ended, you'll have an opportunity for a week until launch to pre-mint your NFT, and you are going to get a rare NFT. We cannot guarantee you the rarity of the NFT will increase the value. We would tend to believe it does, but at the very least, you're going to have something no one else will ever have again after launch on your NFT. And yes, I think that we're doing something very different here. I'm excited that you guys, whoever invests will be a part of it. If you invest now or in 6 months or whatever it is, I'm glad you'll be a part of it because our goal, same as you, we want DeFi to be fun again. We want to enjoy DeFi and we want to grow everybody's wealth. And I hope you make a killing with Ooze in whatever way you choose to do it.
Awesome, great. I suppose this is the last call for questions. Um, I'm just reading over the questions one more time to make sure I didn't miss any. It looks like we got a lot of good questions. Thank you to the audience. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, I would applaud you, but it'd be weird over the. I mean, I could try. I don't know.
And I have distributed the link to the whitelist to everybody. If I've missed somebody, please let me know. And otherwise, yeah, thanks for coming, Raphael, and we'd be glad to have you again post-launch if that's something that you guys are interested in. Um,
Yes,
you
well,
know,
I had a good time. Thank you for the fun time and the questions and getting acclimated with each other. It's been good. I enjoy these AMAs and hanging out, and so this has been fantastic. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
you're welcome, man. Thanks for coming. And everybody else who came, I hope you guys had a nice time too. I will get this video on YouTube today, certainly today, but it's going to be a while, probably 4 or 5 hours from now. It'll be in my AMA archive, and I will also get it to Raphael, um, and he can share it
This way I can
over.
promote it. That'd be great.
That's right. And if you guys, oh, Casey Jones is saying Double Dare is the classic slime game show. That's right.
All
Um,
has been revealed.
oh, hey, Raphael, guess my favorite color.
Okay, green.
You got it again. Incredible. You're going you're going places. All
I
right.
know.
All right, guys. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.